Okay, now let's talk a little personal.
Sure.
So you recently had a heart attack, kind of a pretty scary thing.
I did at age 56. I didn't feel right. Things weren't jiving. I went to the emergency room. They said I was actually actively having a heart attack. And
While you're
I'm the type of guy that kind of hides my feelings or emotions through sarcasm and humor. And it wasn't the right time. I remember telling them, so you're telling me there might have been two other men in the world that could have navigated the belt line, obeyed the laws of the land, and not been air flighted? Okay, I'm that guy. But in all seriousness, when you have that near death experience, and I had what they call the Widowmaker, which is a hell of a name.
yeah, that's
95% blockage, and I am so fortunate. I have such a different look on life now.
how did that was it scary? I mean, I know your
Oh,
humor and you and I tease. The first thing I said to Dan when he was already past it, so people don't think I'm this rude, but because I am. But I said, I'm just glad to know you have a heart.
I wouldn't have expected anything else from you, Rick.
But was it pretty scary?
Well, it was scary when they started telling me, why isn't your wife here right now? Why aren't you, this EKG says you're having this right now. And next thing you know, you're in the operating room and they're running a stent through your wrist. And I remember, still being a smart aleck throughout the whole thing. I remember telling them, well, now that you saved my life, you're kind of responsible for my life. And I got a few payments coming up and I need a hand with. And
yeah.
But when they said my wife was there and I saw her in the hallway, I lost it.
Yeah.
Because you think about those that would miss you while you're gone too. So it really did kind of change how I looked at life. And I had to step back a little bit from legacy because I couldn't do the day to day. I really need to focus on myself for a while. And as I go through different medications for this first year, making sure that there's that balance, because you get that anxiety of, well, it happened once, can it happen again?
Right. Does that, because see, I would think too, with a heart attack, once you've done that, then if something starts to happen, it's kind of like when I had cancer, then anything that's pained, down around that area, are going, and I never felt anything, but still in your head, you're going, okay, is that it?
And my first night home, I remember I was coughing and I was thinking, oh my God, am I going to dislodge this? Am I going to bleed out here? Does it fall apart? I have a twin brother that's kind of a wise guy, and he said they probably use Chinese stainless steel, so he called me a communist.
Oh, you are twins.
You're
the better looking twin, right? Isn't that what you always said?
I have more hair. But it does change your outlook, and I feel like I'm a walking public service announcement. Listen to your body. Take care of yourself.
So how have you changed? Has it changed your eating or exercise regime or anything?
Oh, big time. I used to be that guy that says, we only get so many heartbeats, I'm not going to waste them on exercise. No, that's not true. Not at all.
So you're working out more, doing stuff.
Oh, yeah. Working out every day and eating really good. I get to eat more fish now, and my wife's got to deal with that. But I always tell her, I just had a heart attack, so it's kind of on me now.
You don't. I'm sure, Dan, knowing you don't use that to your advantage at all.
He asked me once about folding laundry. I'm still kind of suffering from that, recovering from that.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little chest pain. I don't feel like I can really get up and fold the laundry.
Oh, I get a lot of the, Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you. But I do a lot of work with Honor Flight, and working with those guys has been phenomenal. And I don't ever want to miss out on that. These guys are just, if you've ever worked around anybody that's done an Honor Flight or been on one, to work with these guys that are World War II vets, that are Cold War, Korean, Vietnam vets, they're just incredible. And the two guys that I've gone with so far, I kid you not, they're like family. And I talk to them at least once a week.
So Honor Flight, for those of you watching who don't know, it's an organization. They take veterans back to Washington, D.C. to see the monuments. And it's a powerful thing because a lot of these people haven't been back there to see that. And they see it as something that's in honor of you and the men and women you died with. And it's pretty profound.
A lot of those Vietnam vets never got closure either.
Yeah.
They weren't welcomed home. And it's such an incredible organization. There's 4 Honor Flights in the state of Oregon. South Willamette Valley is ours. And we probably send more people to that. We've and for our group, it covers Lane, Lynn, Benton, and Lincoln. And we've just had we keep these things full. Alaska Airline always gives us a deal on flights. They've got an actual 737 dedicated to Honor Flight that has the 5 emblems, the 5 branches on that plane. It's got memorabilia or messages on that plane for our vets. It's just incredible. And these guys get treated, guys and gals. We had one gal last time I went last September. We called her Ripcord Annie because she had 18 jumps out of helicopters in Vietnam, and they have such a great personality. And
so, what do you learn about you from the heart attack, and now working with these veterans who are at the end of their life, going back to, I mean, Dan, I'm asking you kind of like, is that the value of recognition, not necessarily for what you do, but that you have value. You know what I mean?
Well, I've always told people my legacy is not what I did at the sheriff's office or veterans legacy. My legacy is my kids. And hopefully when I'm said, when I am gone 30 years from now, someone will say, hey, there goes old Buckwald's kid. They're all right. That means I've done a good job. But I had such a blessed career, and, coming from Mapleton and not going to college right off the bat and kind of working my way through, I had a blessed career, and I feel it is my responsibility to pay it forward. But I'm so fortunate because I've been in the right place at the right time, and I've met some of the neatest people here in Lane County, here in Eugene. So it's phenomenal. And
so for you, what is it that keeps you kind of centered and funny? I mean, you know what I mean? You always kind of have that attitude.
Well, I didn't take
it too seriously.
Well, I had a very dysfunctional growing up. We moved around all the time, very poor, and I always knew what I wanted. I just didn't know how I was going to get there. And to be around these folks that I never had grandparents. I didn't really have parents. I didn't have a father. So to spend time with these folks that are older than you and just listen to their stories, I think there's a big trade-off there. You become.
So is that why? Because I've seen you with Nick, and I've seen you with other people who were under your supervision, who were, for the lack of a better word, the prisoners. I don't know what inmates. And you treated them like a dad, and you didn't have a dad. So why did you? How did you learn that, and why did you do that?
Well, I had a brother that he's gone now, but he spent a year in Oroville City Jail, a year, and he deserved it. Driving and all the infractions that built up. But I remember the impact it had on my mother, and it was really difficult for her. And it was very sad and somber in the house whenever his name came up, and why isn't he here right now? So there's a different side to it. And I used to always tell folks that worked in the jail, don't be that DMV person. Understand that you're going to have parents coming here that have never been here before.
But is that why you treated those inmates? And I'm gonna put it in my own words. But you gave so much respect to Nick and people like that, and really an unconditional love. And I don't mean hug the thug. I mean an unconditional. Listen, asshole. This is your place. This is what you have to do, and this is what I expect of you. Because you didn't really get that.
No.
Male figure, but you were able to give it to all these people. Where does that come from? How do you do that? Well,
you're taking me a whole different route here. I just, I had big brothers. I had a brother-in-law that were very important to me, and you learn from them. And my big brother used to always tell me, "Hey, look, we all make mistakes. Don't make the same one I made. Make a new one. Be different.
Be creative."
and I really did try.
Your mom's over here going, "No."
But I've always had that that unique connection with people, and I wouldn't change that at all.
So you know how sometimes I think we think so. Growing up without a dad would be hard, but it also made you who you are. And so if you had him around, that would be ideal. Yeah. But because that didn't happen, you took on this role for people, and I don't think. And what I love about it too, Dan, is it was just a natural role. You're not going in and going, because I didn't have a father, I'm going to father these people. Instead, it was like, I know what it feels like to not have
Mhm.
that in my life. Unconsciously, I'm able to give that to people.
Mhm.
That's a gift, dude. That is like a rare
I would,
gift.
I would tell folks, no, I never did drugs. I was always afraid I might like them. So no, I didn't. I didn't know what meth was, so I can work.
Know what they did to other people in your life.
Yeah, exactly. And I lost a brother to drunk driving, and you pay attention to things and try to create the best environment for you and your family. And maybe if I had a dad, I'd have a funny haircut and live in Montana. But oh, that was a zinger. That was a zinger.
Hold on, yeah.
Come on, John Denver.
It doesn't even have strings on it. But I do have a guitar back there that I know how to play.
And when I had that camp going, I can remember we used to call them saddle tramps or hobos would come through, and this one guy, he looked like Richard Farnsworth, if you remember that old cowboy.
Uh-huh.
Craggy face, but he had the prettiest, deepest blue eyes, and we had this little portable piano, and I remember he had it one time, and he started playing blues on it. I didn't even think that could make that kind of music, and he had all of us crying because he was so smooth, and it reminded me that everybody has a talent,
right.
And when you judge a book by its cover, sometimes you get your feelings hurt.
Well, isn't that how I think that's how life should work? If we did it, is realize I think that, like, I grew up in a home where it was like you have to be good at everything, and
Mm-hmm.
it's I'm just not. I mean, it's just so when you understand about your life that you're not, then you find other people that just come into your life and you go, oh, okay, there's that. So then I think that the big picture with to me with God is that you all need each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to give you too much. I'm going to give you this. And if you all come together, when I bring you in this place together and you move, it's like a dance and it'll work. But what happens is when you start trying to do everything, or you get jealous because, well, Dan has this and Rick has that. And then then the dance doesn't work because it starts getting just like that.
You and I grew up in a time too where if we wanted something, we worked for it. We had to work harder for it. If I didn't get picked first, I was going to work harder at that sport.
Right.
Right, different sport. But nothing was a handout. And out there at the camp is, I tell everybody, I love it when vets ask me, "What are you going to do for me?" I'm not going to do a damn thing for you. What are you willing to do for yourself? Because I'll walk next to you and I'll walk behind you, but this is your journey. What are you willing to do for yourself?
Right. That's kind of what's wrong in the world, right? I think it's kind of what's wrong in the world right now is, and it's not to be, entitled, but I think people feel like they deserve something. And I think, my favorite line out of the Bible, or one of them, is, always give justice to others, but don't expect it back.
Mm-hmm.
And I put that online. I get people so angry because they feel like I deserve it too. And I think you're missing the point.
Mm-hmm.
If you're thinking about justice because you want it, then you're not purely giving it to other people. And so then it's all about what you get. And I see that so much in, groups and organizations. It's like, oh, I'm not doing this for me. Well, what you just told me is you are doing that for you,
And it's true. And, life isn't supposed to be easy. I mean, pain lets you know you're alive, and we learn from our mistakes. And if you don't make them again, it's not even a failure; it's just a learning lesson.
Oh, my wife and I watched this movie last night on. It was about a true story, based on a true story of an Amish community in Pennsylvania in 2005. One of the people that wasn't an Amish, but in the area, went into the schoolhouse and shot and killed like 10 little girls. And these people, the Amish people, immediately went to the house of the wife and the two kids and forgave them.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the end, like this movie, you're watching it, and some of the Amish people who were having trouble with it going, well, we're just going to let them off. And he goes, no, they're going to get there. He shot and killed himself. But we need to be there, can pray for her, just like she's praying for us. And then in the end, the saddest thing, or most touching thing was her husband was being buried and nobody showed up at the funeral hardly because, he killed all these kids. And here comes over the hill, the entire Amish community in their wagons and black outfits came down and stood with her while she buried her husband. And I thought,
but for her, yeah,
yeah,
totally get that.
And yet today, people would say you don't have to do that because that's the ultimate. You know, we pick and choose what we for and to move on. So, Dan, thank you so much for just letting me have a little extra content with you. You know, like conversation. What we're doing now, what I'm doing, and I tell my viewers this is why we're doing this. I'm going to cut this up so the beginning part will go in that one show, and then we're getting special on it. People sign up on our website. We're doing extra conversations like this for where people can learn. This isn't something I just want to throw out on Facebook somewhere. I want this people who really give a shit and are going to look at it and not just get on and go, oh, you know, what's that? Can criticize. So I'll put this section on there for the people who are truly interested. They don't get. It's that old line: "Don't throw your pearls to swine." This was my pearl section, and the swine don't get it.
That must have been a Camp Creek thing, because we didn't have Ableton.
That's right.
You know, at the same time, thank you for being a voice, having the strength, and not kowtowing to other folks. So thank you, Rick. All right.
Hey, you're welcome. All right, man. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
Take care, brother.
Yeah. Good to know you had a heart.
Bye.